Good morning, good evening, good night, depending on where you are. I'm Greer D, your local storyteller and witch. Just real quickly, even though it's a late start, this video will be short. Well, video, stream, VOD. Yeah, stream, video, VOD. It'll be short, because technically there's only about a chapter left so far of what I've prepared. I didn't realize, and I didn't go back and add more. But that's fine. So it'll be a short stream of that. Maybe a little bit of a talk concerning the novel itself and the homebrew and why I took a little bit of a break from continuing it. And then up at the top, we have our schedule. It's there and everything. It's gonna be story time afterwards. I have a cute little overlay and everything for the D&D character sheet stream. That stream will be a bit more, it's not formally educational, because I'll be chilling and just chatting about it. So that's there. Yeah. And that's gonna happen with just me. I was thinking about getting someone else for it, but it'll just be a me stream showing you my thought process and how I go about it. Hopefully it's helpful for others. But right now, I'm gonna just go ahead and get into the story stuff. So let me hide this schedule. I'm gonna have a little art slide now that I'm gonna use. That'll be there. Alright. Chapter 14. The days were monotonous. To look upon the gardens that were void of talk. Lounge around with no others to drink with. Only few fae folk were allowed to come and go. 1 second. I want to adjust my mic. There we go. They were always neutral and seemed to enjoy her, after all. Not even birds were allowed to come to the gardens or roost here. A place of silks, art, and beauty. Yet none could enjoy it. She punished herself this way. To live, but not to enjoy. Her mistakes would eventually fade. She felt as if she too was fading. She was supposed to be a deity, but did not feel as such. Not anymore, at least. Not since those days where she was associated with love, to being associated with violence and war. She was tired of how others tried to rule over her. Tired of how she felt used. How there were expectations to fulfill others, what others believed she should be. How they even underestimated her. Aphrodite. Goddess of what? A sigh escaped her lips. She was in a prime for a time. Till dear old Zeus decided her beauty would cause wars. So instead, he married her off to Hephaestus. Despite his gifts, she was never happy with him. She was not some bird in a cage to be handed off so easily. So she stepped beyond and did as she pleased, taking on the affections of others at first. She was believed out of pettiness. Instead, one actually caught her eye. The allure of the dangerous one, Ares. He made it enticing to do what others deemed wrong. Yet for her, affections were instinct. It was just who she was when it came to giving in to intimacy. Then responding to his attention, it seemed like she was touching a flame. What was so tempting gave her satisfaction for a time. Yet a new hunger would stir inside of her. Being around Aries only birthed a desire to be like him. Soon, she took on the armor of her own and bathed in the chaos. Then when she snapped to reality was when she cut off one of Hephaestus' arms. In shock and shame, she left. Left everything and everyone. Now she has her days in this domain, one that was tucked away on an eye, away from the eyes of the other deities and a place that mortals couldn't easily walk into. Sometimes she let a mortal wander in, but limited their vision. They would only see a paradise of a place, a dream they could carry of such a beautiful place. She did adore the mortals with how easily they were pleased. They would stay for barely a day before leaving with the tail tucked against their heart. What was another day for her even, wasting away in this place? A booming echo had her eyes widened. Whatever that was, shouldn't be possible. No, this domain was under her control. That sound, however, was unmistakable. Was someone attacking her domain? Trying to enter? Had they already entered? Her steps were careful as she slinked through her halls. The sound had come from the main entryway, and that worried her the most. The closer she got, she started to hear steps echo as well. Yet the steps sounded off. Closer and closer her steps and the sound of whatever another would give. Till finally she paused behind the last doorway to the main area. She swore her heart would break from her ribcage. She cursed in her head for her actions. What was she the deity of? Cowardice? And that's it for now, so future me timestamp this moment. Alright, so a little bit of chatting about why it hasn't continued on from there. Basically, when I started this little project of doing the novel, that was pre-pandemic times. And then I got really sick during pandemic times. And with that was my memory as well. So I legit just forgot that, and I was so much worried about so many other things that it didn't really matter to keep up with a little bit of a novel of sorts. But it's quite alright. I do want to continue it, so I most likely will. It will be a bit of a break time, and perhaps during the new year I'll have more content of that to continue off of. Then for a while, I just went into actually creating a homebrew campaign that it's based off of. So the homebrew campaign, it goes further and more with the actual story. And it's broken up and adjusted to be available as the homebrew campaign for D&D. I have a lot more lore and stuff written for it, but it's more of like the scramblings of a madman off to the side that I kind of have to pluck through and translate into novel format. So that was the issue here on why I just realized I didn't have more written down in the actual format. But that's no problem, I can always fix that. And the stream, I didn't mean for it to be so short, but it will be easier accessed as a little video for those that like to listen in. So, thanks for joining in. Have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, night. I'm going to be streaming in a couple hours or so, or an hour and a half, of doing a D&D character sheet from scratch, or 5e for 5th edition. So if you're a VOD watcher, you can always just go to the channel and find that out if you would like. But that will be the end of this. Thank you for listening and joining, and I hope you've been enjoying the story so far. If you've been enjoying it, let me know below. If you have questions though, I may not be able to answer without spoiling things, but we will see. Maybe if you have an interesting one that's relevant to the current chapters I went through, then I'll do it. But thank you. It's been fun.